This video is sponsored by Anoah Mother Care. Great stuff for great kids.
Okay, so my name is Benedicta Edubiatroneboa, and I'm a mother of a 1.6 months-old boy, and I'm with the hospitality industry, specifically a hotel. I was actually expecting it, and we got married in the latter part of April 2018. But unlike other ladies who were actually waiting after married to, have fun, my situation was quite different. So I really was expecting it. So we got married, we did what we had to do, and I was expecting it to come. But unfortunately, a week after, I saw my menses, and I was so down. But the issue is that I had not really read about the fertile days and all that. So when I realized it didn't work, then I started, taking interest in getting to know when my fertile days are and then when we can do the needful. So I read about it and I got to know when my fertile days are, and we so we did what we had to do, but then it didn't work. So I was really getting discouraged, and I was having all this, I was getting worried about it because 6 months before we got married, I went to a hospital to have a general checkup, and then after the checkup and everything, the doctor said I was fine. A renowned doctor. He said I was okay and then I could give birth and everything. But 2 days after the medical checkup, I was called and then they told me that there was one report that they couldn't generate on that day. So it's now ready, and then it's quite like I really need to be there. There was something wrong with me. So I rushed there, I asked, and then they told me that there was something wrong with my ovaries and then they had to perform a surgery. If not, I'll be 50-50. They can't really tell if I'll be able to get, pregnant or not. So I was really, really worried. So then I spoke to my partner about it, who told me not to worry because we're then making preparation towards our marriage. So he said we could hold on when we get married and then we try and it doesn't work, then we can go and see the doctor. But I was really not comfortable. I could pray and cry, and I was just praying that God will give me a sign. If I need to do it, I'll go and do it. If not, He should let me hear something. So it was just me crying, not knowing what to do, if I'm okay. Because I didn't really want to enter into marriage and then I'll be expecting to have babies and they're not coming. I really didn't want to experience that. So I was really praying about it. And I remember on the 25th of December 2017, in the morning, I prayed and really cried unto God that it's been some time now concerning this surgery. I spoke to the doctor. The doctor said that I had to, he would advise I do it so that I can enter into marriage with that confidence that I'm okay and then I can make babies. But I just didn't want to do it. So on this day, I prayed to God. I was like, God, let me hear from you. Now, there was this man of God, a prophet, whom some time ago I got in touch with. And after that time, I tried to get in touch with him. But anytime that I sent a message, there was no response coming. But on that 25th of December, I sent a Christmas message to everyone, like friends and family. And then when he received the message, he responded. So I asked if I could call him, and then he said yes, I could call him. So I called him. Now, when I called him, I started talking. I went to the hospital. The doctor said this is wrong with me, and I may not be able to have. No. So what actually happened is, before I started, when I said I went to the hospital and the doctor, he completed the statement. The doctor said he can't make babies, and this is what is wrong with you. But that is not it. I was like, this is a renowned doctor. This is someone who has checked. And then he mentioned that I am also standing here as a man of God telling you that there is nothing wrong with your ovaries. You will surely get pregnant, so don't do it. I don't know where, like, I just had that, I was just okay. It felt like a burden had been lifted, so I was really, really okay. And then I just stopped thinking about it. So back to me really wanting to get pregnant immediately after marriage, considering what happened in the past, I was really expecting it. So I read about it, and now I knew that these are the fertile days that we could try. We did it, it didn't happen. So you can imagine how I was feeling. Still praying and trusting that something good would happen. So my husband told me not to worry, we'll be fine, I shouldn't worry. And then the following month, God being so good, I noticed that my menses had delayed. So I spoke to a friend who told me that, hey, get the test kit so that, you check and then we know the status. So I bought one and then I took it home. So the following day at dawn, when my husband was asleep, I sneaked into the washroom and then I checked. And when I checked, it was there. I was so happy and I couldn't stop proclaiming that God is faithful. I went to the hall, rolling, thanking God. All this while, my husband was asleep. But you know what? I didn't want to tell him. Of course, I wanted to be very sure before I told him. So the following day, I had to go to the hospital to, do a lab test so that I can get the confirmation and then let him know. And I did that. I got the test and yes, positive. I was pregnant. Now, just as most of us said, I planned on, in a very nice way to tell my husband, but I just couldn't wait out of excitement. I couldn't wait to get home and then do whatever I planned to do. And immediately they brought me the results. I sent him a message, WhatsApp, telling him that I'm pregnant and all that. He was excited about it. I went home, we spoke about it, and we were just happy. We thank God knowing that we're going to be parents soon. Knowing I was pregnant, it was quite interesting, but the bad sides also, if I should put it that way. At some point, it was unbearable, the pains and all that. And the nature of my job is such that sometimes you can go in the morning and you get back very late. I was always tired. So it wasn't all that easy, but there are a couple of things that I enjoyed about it. The fact that you could tell your husband you want this, and then on a normal day, he won't do it, but because he knows there is a baby in there, he'll do everything possible to get it for you. These are some of the things that I enjoyed. And of course, the attention. My in-law will see you. You're looking so good. Oh, baby, why you papa? And they always wanted you to eat. Like, they're all there. They were just happy around you, always trying to put you first and all that. And it's something that I really liked. And the stressful part, getting home late, and sometimes you need to eat, but you don't really feel like eating. My husband brings the food. Hey, please try and take something, and I get angry. He comes close to me. I feel something smells and all that, and I was just giving him attitude. Oh no, he managed to, it wasn't that easy, but it was okay. It was okay. Here is when the spiritual part comes into play, in that when it comes to the things of God and my spiritual life, it's on a different level. I know God is faithful and I have so much confidence in Him that everything that I've prayed for, if it's in line with His will, I'll have it. So even before we got married, I have a prayer book. I'd written in it that in 3 months or so, I'll be pregnant and it will be a boy, even though by then I'll not know the gender, but I'd pray that I wanted a boy. And so when I checked and it was a boy, it was just me thanking God for being faithful to me and giving me what I wanted. Yeah. I was actually booked for a C-section because of the position of the baby. And that's also another thing because I was always going to the hospital. The doctor checked, and then the doctor gave me the confirmation that everything was okay and I could do the normal delivery. But for some strange reason, I felt I should check again. I don't know. I really wanted to do the normal delivery, but I don't know what happened. I just wanted to check again. So I went to do it and I asked the man the position, and then he said that the head and the leg, it's up. So so that's the position. So I came back to the doctor and then I asked, is he sure I can do the normal delivery? Because this is what they told me when I went to check. And he was like, oh, in that case, we'd have to do a CS. And if they told me, let's say Wednesday, this week, Wednesday, I was booked for Friday. It was really close. Like, I'd really not planned for it. And I was still going to work. But you know, when for delivery, you'd have to do blood donation. You get people to do blood donation, to two people to do that. So I spoke to my husband about it, and then the options were either we do it on Friday or on Sunday, and the Sunday was actually my husband's birthday, so we decided to do it on the Sunday. We made the necessary arrangements, and even that Saturday, the day before I delivered, I went to work. Yeah, and I actually slept there. Yeah, so the following day in the morning, my husband, so from work, they took me to the hospital on that Sunday morning, and then my husband met me there. It was a scheduled thing, so we knew that day was the day for delivery. And CS. And I had my fears, but then I had this friend who did that. She went through it, and then she had encouraged me that, you see, at the end of it, seeing your baby is what matters. So whatever it is, just enjoy it and know that after everything, you're going to see your baby. So we went there. They prepped me for it, and then yeah, I remember when they did the epidural, and it was painful. And the doctor, I remember before they started, the doctor touched me there. They were just ready about to do it. Touched me there, and then he asked, can you feel it? I was like, yes, I can feel it. And then they were all looking at each other. So the doctor was like, okay, then they should hold on. And I honestly don't know what happened. I just went off. So I woke up, seeing myself in the recovery room. I think they were monitoring me. And I saw my baby there. I was just looking at him, and I just kept saying, God, you're faithful. Thank you so much. I was just so happy. I was really, really happy. But another thing was that I stayed in the monitoring room for so long, and that was because I was really bleeding. Like, it kept coming. And at some point, I didn't know about it. I was just there. I thought maybe they're just monitoring me. I didn't know about it. One of the doctors came in and said that the blood donation that your husband did, we didn't use it, but there is an emergency, so if you don't mind, like, they wish I could just give it out to that person. I was like, oh, that's fine. In my mind, hey God, you've blessed me. I have life. I can see my baby. If I'm fit, that's fine. When they left, in like less than 30 minutes, the nurse came. Hey, woman, ogusu bledi o basa mujane ba neba. Hey, me am friend Dr. Nana. And I was so scared. It's like, what's going on? And then one elderly person came, and then she was like, you know what? Let's just let her be there for some time. She'll be fine. So let's just hold on. So I think they came for day, and then the night nurse came in, and they did their handing over and all that. They left me with the lady. All this while my husband and my in-law, they were outside staying there, like sitting waiting for me. I think I was there for quite a long time. So the nurse came to me and she was worried. She was expressing concern that I'm bleeding, and it's been like that for quite some time. And by then I'd also informed the doctor that the doctor could take the blood. So I was like, God, what's wrong with me? What's happening? I started praying. So later when the night nurse came in, she came there. She was really nice to me. She told me I'll be fine and all that. And then after some time, I think my husband came in. And then he spoke to me. I slept for some time, and when I woke up, they took me to my ward. Yeah. Okay, so the first day I saw my baby, I was just happy. Even though I couldn't hold him, I was very weak, but I could see him. I was like, hey, you are the one there. So you're the one that I've been praying and waiting for. And I was just I was really, really happy. I was very, very happy. And I was just thanking God, thanking God, thanking God. So at some point, the nurse came and then said that I need to try and then breastfeed my son. So they brought him. I tried, it wasn't really working. And he was crying. And I think they gave him none or something. And in some few minutes or so, he had finished taking it and he was still crying. And he wasn't the only person there. The other babies, they took it and they were okay. The nurses were like, Sisi ani ema ni bio. Mami, I was here saying ni bio. So they gave it to him again. And when we went to the ward, I tried. It was in it. I don't think it was coming. So the following day, well, I was told that when you apply the shea butter and all that, it works. So the following day, a lady came to the ward and she told me that she asked if I was okay, and then I told her that I'm fine, but I'm not able to breastfeed my son, and that's a worry. And she told me not to worry. She actually came because of that. So she taught me how to do it, and then helped me apply the shea butter and all that. And it was just, should I say it was a miracle? I put the baby to it and it was just easy for him to latch on it. So I realized it was working. He was getting the breast milk. Yeah, so it was just the second day that we started with the breastfeeding. So we are doing the breastfeeding and all that, the exclusive breastfeeding. But unfortunately for me, when I resumed, I was able to do for 5 months and I couldn't do. And he could suck it. My son really likes food. And he'll make you weak. When he take it off his mouth, then he'll start crying. Oh, but yes, we were able to do the exclusive breastfeeding for 5 months, and I think that really helped. Okay, so we stayed in the hospital for like 3 days, and then after that we went home. And then when we go home, initially it wasn't easy for me because, I was there with my husband and then my in-law. And that was the first time I was going to live together with my husband and my in-law. And I didn't really know how to relate to her. So I was just not okay. I couldn't tell her when I needed something. But at some point, it was worrying me and it was making me sad. But she didn't know. She tried her best though. And I must say that my mother-in-law has been very helpful. She's really, really good. I remember telling my husband about it, that I'm not okay. I'm not able to talk to the mother and all that. And then he was like, babe, she's here because of you. She's here because of you. Yes, I go to work. It's unfortunate I'm not able to come very early. And yes, he is also in the hospitality industry, so I understand. I know the dynamics and all that. So after talking to him, he told me that if I need anything, I should just tell her. She sees me as the daughter, so I shouldn't be holding back. If anything, if not, I should let him know and then he'll do that. But he made it clear that he didn't like it that way. I should feel free. So after talking to him, he actually went to the mother and then told the mother that I'm there worried about the fact that I'm not able to. And when the mother heard it, she was also she was down. She called me, Mommy, now then na bibi any won't country me. Unti na me what has say, Mommy baby be out there country me what say. And from that time, I realized things change. Everything that she wants, she would do it for you. She was really, really helpful. And I must say that she has given me more than enough reason to be a great mother-in-law for my son's wife in future. Yeah. So I had support from her, and then from my husband too. The days that he wasn't going to work, of course he feel the presence. He spends time with the baby and all that. Then he can get some time to sleep. It was all good, yeah. Well, that was the day that I realized that truly I've become a mother. I just couldn't. I couldn't sit. I was really worried when the nurse took him in. I was okay until I heard him crying and screaming. And my in-law was like, "Mom, you're better fine. He never born in Tiantino. Don't worry, he'll be fine." It wasn't easy. When they brought him, he was crying, and I had to breastfeed him. We took him home. The pain was still there. We had to give him some medicine, and then he took it, and then he slept. But I think it took about 3 days for him to be okay. So within this period, he was always crying at night and running temperature and all that. So it was quite hard for all of us. Yeah. And again, with the immunization, uh, the 6 weeks one, I I had been told that that one day it's not an easy thing, so we had there was this lady who lived close to us, who's a nurse, who told us that before we take the baby there, we should give him is a couple or something, yeah. So we did that, and then when we went there, he cried, but after some short period, he stopped. When he came home to, he was still crying. We gave him. My baby really eats well, thanks to grandma. So okay, like I said, for the exclusive, we were able to do for just 5 months. At some point, we were not getting enough for him, so my in-law was like, we should try and then blend it with the other, the porridge and all that. So there are times that when I go to work, you give the porridge together with the baby milk, and then he was taking it. He was really taking it. So at some point, we decided to do bangkung and okro, and he was taking it. Everything you give my son, he will take. And we have this coconut sauce, like coconut sauce with chicken. When you blend it with fancy kinky, he eats a lot. He really likes it a lot, yeah. So everything that you give him, he takes it. And he likes bread, just like the father. He likes bread. He can cry over bread. And sometimes you get to hear them fighting with the father. They really, really like bread. Well, I also like it. I was just scared. I was shaking. And because I really didn't know when he started moving. I mean, when you put him there, he's just there, he's sleeping and all that. And just to experience something like that, I wasn't really expecting it. That day I was really scared and all that. But again, I realized that he's growing, and then now he could move and all that. Yeah. And he was able to walk very fast. Yes. Even before 11 months. Yes, he could walk. And I remember those days I was worrying my husband, let's get him a baby walker. And then he was like, no, baby walker won't really help. Let's do Tata. And I'm like, who will do Tata? There's this elderly woman who also calls me a lot. And then the last time I was talking to her concerning that, she was like, there is this wooden thing that they can pull, and then it helps them to really walk fast. So we should opt for that, and then be doing Tata. It was on loudspeaker. My husband, you see what I told you? Tata all the way. And I think it worked. It worked. So before 11 months, he could walk. Yeah. It's really not been easy because, I mean, the hotel business, we don't know holidays and we don't know weekends. In that during weekends, there are times that you need to be there working. Holidays can even be your peak season, so you can't stay in the house. So really, the weekends that my mother-in-law actually comes from Mondays to Fridays, and sometimes leave very early on Saturdays. So weekend, it's you and the baby. That's when you can really bond with him. But there are times that you need to come to work. And my husband is also in the hotel business, so sometimes you all have to go. And when it happens that way, I'd have to take him to work. But I must say that the little opportunity that I get, I really try to make time with him. So there are times that I'll do all to put my phone aside, just worry him, make him laugh and all that. Yeah. And the father really helps a lot. He is really doing a great job, I must say, because before he leaves the house, I usually leave very early. But before he leaves, we spend time with him in bed, playing some this kid songs and all that for him and all that. Yeah, so it's not been easy, but I make him know that, hey, I'm doing it for you. I want you to be very happy. That's why I'm working. Mommy will be back, okay? Yeah, just to let him know that I'm not just leaving him, but whatever it is that I'm doing, it's for him. And there are times that we pick a stroll with him and my husband. Yeah, when, let's say, a weekend that we are all there, we walk with him and all that. Yeah. I wish I could say mommy's boy, but the way he relates with the dad there, and he was able to say daddy first. Yeah, he was able to say daddy first. And if he has something with him and I'm there and the dad is there, he would walk to the dad. Yeah. At home, in the room, the cot is really close to us. Now, when he wakes up, he gets to us, put the head on me, the legs on the dad, and will sleep. Now, when I see him that way, I'm like, this is my son. This is my boy. It makes me so happy. I feel so good within me that, hey, see my boy. And you know, as human as we are, there are times that you may not be too okay, you have your down moments, and then you just want to be alone. And you see him going up and down, kind of reminding you that, hey, I'm here. Forget about it and know that I'm here for you. These things, when I see it, it makes me happy. And whatever it is that probably I'm going through, it releases me from it. Yeah. The prayer factor. Okay, so very, very necessary. When I was pregnant, it's something that I really did a lot. And I remember when I gave birth to him, because of the position, how he was positioned in the womb, when he came out, the legs were up, and then the head was, the legs were up to where the head was. And it was hard for him to bring it down. And I remember 10 days when we went to the hospital, the woman there was like, I've been handling kids, babies, and I haven't seen this. Well, there's something there like that, but there is something wrong with the leg. So you need to see a physio so that they can correct it. Back to faith and prayer. When I was pregnant, we prayed a lot in all aspects. And I remember very well there were times that I could pray that God, any form of deformity, we pray against it. So when the nurse told me that, I went back to God. God, yeah, we've prayed about this, and I think we've agreed on it. I don't want to do this. Now, I think we went to the hospital again, and the nurse is like, you need to go there. You need to go there so that they'll check for him. They can try and correct it, because it was really not coming down. So my husband was like, okay, let's go. But I was just not okay. We went to see them, and then they said we'd have to do it on weekly basis, like 3 times a week or something. It was really not going to help us. And my in-law was like, I need not to worry. Everything will be fine. I came home, prayed to God. I think, I'm not ready for this. Please, correct what needs to be corrected. And to the glory of God, after some time, you could see it coming down. And he's fit. Like I said, he started walking even before 11 months. Yeah. So it worked for us. So the prayer factor, yes, not to dispute what the doctors will say. It's equally important, but you need to back it with prayers. So that is what I would say.
This video was brought to you by Anoah Mother Care. Great stuff for great kids.